like choked the fuck out of me to where I couldn't breathe.
We gonna play now, ready for the show. I'm about to take down, you already know. Get the fuck out of my face now, yeah, you gotta go. Man, I'm on the chase now.
Anyway, hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are you? Today, as you can tell by the title of today's video, it's going to be a story time, and this is going to be this story time about my psycho roommate that I used to live with. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to do backstory. I'm just going to jump right into the main part of the story, which is me moving in with her, and I am not going to say names. We're going to call her Alyssa. So let's just start the story down. I moved into her place, and mind you, I'd only known her for, backtracking a little bit, about a month or two because I was working with her. So I lived with her for 3 months in total, and it was very chaotic, especially the last month that I lived with her. So everything started out pretty good. She was a love interest of mine. We kind of had something, I think. I don't know. I moved in with her and thought everything was going to be great and grand and fan-freaking-tastic. I thought wrong. First, I met some amazing people through her. She and I became pretty close. We told each other basically everything, you could say. It started in the second month, I would say. Her man was very present and very around, and I knew her man. We're gonna call him Bob. I knew Bob. I knew him pretty well because I lived with him because he lived with her. So I got to know him as well as her, and Alyssa didn't really like that I was getting close to him and like knew him. I'm not a homewrecker. I don't take people's mans. I don't do that. I don't take people's girls either. She assumed that I was trying to take her man, so that started a feud between us. Alyssa was always drinking, she was always wanting to party, and she was always out with friends and working and always either sleeping, drinking, smoking, or something else. She had 4 kids. I became basically a housewife. I worked still. I became very, very, very sick. Like, I got the flu. I don't know if I had food poisoning or if I had the flu or if it was just a stomach bug that I had, but I was so sick. I couldn't keep food down at all. Not even water, not even soda, not anything. I couldn't keep anything down. That night that I was very, very sick, I didn't eat dinner. I really hardly ate because I couldn't keep anything down, and we had KFC for dinner. They apparently made me up a plate that I didn't know about. She had asked me if I wanted a little bit of mac and cheese, and I said yes. I didn't think she was making my plate, and I told her that I didn't want to eat at the moment because I felt sicker than a dog. Well, she made me a plate. I didn't eat. I went to sleep after that. I was not aware that she made me a plate of food. So this is something I've never told anybody, but she basically threw a plate at me. She came home from work the following day and was very upset and mad about something that had happened during the day. She was having a bad day, which is 100% understandable. People have bad days, right? She was very mad that day. She came home and I had cleaned the house all day. I did the dishes, trash, mopped, swept, cleaned up everything, put things away, blah blah blah, right? I really still was kind of slacking because up until that point I was doing everything under the sun in the house, and I wasn't feeling up to par that day, so I really didn't do everything. There was a few dishes sitting on the table that were left out from last night's dinner. I didn't pick them up. She got off work early that day, so like, you know, I kind of felt. She comes walking in the door. She was highly mad. Let me fix the lighting real quick. So anyway, we proceeded to go on about the night, and things were okay-ish, I guess you could say. She was still in a very hectic mood, but she noticed the plate sitting on the table that I hadn't got to yet because I was very, very sick, like, to the point where I didn't want to do anything. Mind you, I'm gonna repeat this, I had done everything up to par up until that day because I was sick and I didn't feel good. With all the chemicals, it was making me very sick, making me want to throw up. Therefore, I didn't do the dishes right away. She got very irritated that that dish was still sitting up there, and she got very mad and said, you know, we made this up for you and you didn't fucking eat it, blah 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 blah. She picked up the plate, she threw it on the floor directly in front of me, and pieces of plate just smacked me everywhere. Her kids were also in the room when that happened, so she did it in front of her children. We ended up solving shit, I guess. I don't know. She was very mad at me. I offered to help her clean it up. She refused to let me help her clean it up. She was very mad at me. She yelled at me. I started crying because I cry when people yell at me. It's just a natural thing. So then, afterwards, everything started to calm down. We went to bed, forgot that ever happened, and then we talked about it the next day, and things were okay-ish. A few weeks later, everything was still fine. Like, we were back to normal. We were talking. We were just being normal people. Until the morning, we didn't have toilet paper. Yes, toilet paper. I woke up to go to the bathroom, and to get up for the day. It was like 8 o'clock, I think. I was very tired, half asleep. I did not see anything sitting on the sink. I guess Bob left some napkins that he had in his work truck before he left. And I was asleep when he left, so I was asleep in the living room. He was asleep in the bedroom. We had a 2-bedroom trailer. I was in the living room. He was in the bedroom. I was in the living room because I got the kids up for school, so I just went in the living room and slept. And I was fell asleep watching TV. I go to the bathroom and I don't see any toilet paper or anything. I didn't see the paper towel, I didn't see the napkins, I didn't see any of that shit sitting on the sink. I was half asleep. Little did I know that Bob had left the toilet paper or the paper towel sitting on the sink. So I texted her and I said, hey, we're out of toilet paper, can you pick some up on your way home? She said yes, so she did. She got home before Bob did. She went into the bathroom and she grabbed the napkins and she walked out of the bathroom and she looked at me and she said, what the fuck is this? And put him in my face kinda like this. I told her, when the fuck did that get there and who put that there? Because there was nothing in the bathroom when I went to the bathroom 20 minutes ago. She said, I don't fucking know, did you put them there? And I was like, no, I didn't fucking put them there. Like, I've been cleaning the house. Like, I've not been doing anything other than cleaning the fucking house and, like, doing myself and, like, watching Netflix and shit. And she got very mad at me because she said that I was lying to her. She texted her man, and Bob responded and was like, oh yeah, I left those there before I went to work because I noticed we didn't have toilet paper, so I left them there. Blah, 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 blah. Mind you, me and Bob were telling the truth the whole time, but Alyssa wanted to create stuff because she thought I was trying to take her man. And she thought that I was doing the dirty with her man. So, needless to say, she got very mad. She walked out the door. I tried explaining to her. I didn't see them. If they were there, I was half asleep. Blah, 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 blah. She stormed out of the house, got in the car, and left. And was gone for like a good 20-30 minutes, right? She comes back, she's like, I'm still mad at you. She went into her room, and so I continued to clean the house, whatever, blah blah blah. I just kind of ignored it. Bob came home, and that's when it all got heavy because her kids still weren't home. They were at her mom's, and it was just us three in the house. She got so mad that he had left those there, and that she thought that I was like doing something with him, and that he came back on his break or whatever, and like, I don't even know, that she told me and him to go fuck off, and that both of us can leave the house, and that she doesn't care anymore, and she's going to do whatever. She took the broom out of my hand. I went and sat on the porch just to chill for a little bit because I didn't want to be in the middle of it, and he was still inside. he stepped outside eventually and was like, "You good? Like, I just want to make sure." Like, blah blah blah. It was like, "I'm Gucci, Bob. I'm fine. Like, go inside, take care of her, or whatever." Blah 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 blah. He said, "I get you might not have seen it." I was like, "I was half asleep, and I'm not telling the damn lie because I didn't fucking see them." Started a huge ass fight. Blah blah blah. I come back in the house and I offered to help clean. So then me and him were sitting outside talking. She was inside smoking because she was mad as hell. And then she got mad because him and I were talking, and she thought that we were talking about other shit, which we weren't. We were just talking about our days and shit, and like how we didn't like the way she was raising her kids. Fast forward a little bit later, I ended up getting kicked out of the house. That's not the end of the story. That is not the end at all. I got kicked out of the house. Around November 15th, I want to say. Like, I got kicked out of the house somewhere in November. And the shit didn't stop there, let me tell you. This went on for a whole half of the rest of the year. Like, this still went on at the beginning of 2019. It went on till like March or April, I don't remember, but it went on for a long ass time. It is now November, so it's been a literal year since I've been living at her house. Actually, I was still living at her house at this point in time, but when I got kicked out, it didn't stop there. I left her house. I tried texting her and being like, "I'm sorry, like, I didn't do it, blah 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 blah." She was accusing me of fucking her man. So I was like, "Bro, I didn't do that shit. Like, you need to fucking listen to me. We didn't do none of that, blah, 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 blah." She accused me of all of that, and I was like, "Chill, Bob is yours. You can have Bob. I don't want Bob." So I ended up getting kicked out of her house. I couldn't come home right away. This is my home now. I couldn't come home right away because my grandma was in Indianapolis. My grandpa wasn't even home. He was at work. My mom was also at work. I didn't have a car. I didn't even have my license at that point. And so I had to go to the only other option that I had, which was my dad's house, my little brother's dad's house. He's my dad. That's a whole other story time. So I eventually just said, "Okay, whatever, fucking forget it, like, blah, blah, blah. It's over, it's done." Well, I was still talking to Bob because Bob was like a friend of mine. Bob and I were talking about possibly meeting up and hanging out again because we hadn't seen each other in like a few months since the incident had happened. He told me that he left her, blah 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 blah, had nothing to do with her anymore, and everything was Gucci, right? Wrong. So apparently he was still talking to her, and she found out that I was talking to him. She unblocked me, Alyssa unblocked me, and she messaged me, and she was like, "I know that you fucked Bob, why didn't you tell me, like, why won't you fucking tell me, blah, blah, blah." I hit her up, and I was like, "Bro, I didn't touch him. I've never seen his PP, I've never been near it, I've never blah, 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 blah." So many people thought that I had did, because she was telling people that I did. So everybody was like, "Did you?" And I was like, "No." She accused me of doing that for a few months, and I had told her that nothing happened, blah, 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 blah. A couple months go by, and then she finally comes to terms, and I apologize to her, and I say, "Hey, look, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but what's up?" Like, blah, blah, blah. Sent her this long ass paragraph about apologizing and what I had done and what I didn't do. I told her straight up in the paragraph, I said, "I never touched Bob, I never touched him, I never wanted anything to do with him, I never sought him as an interest to me, I like pussy." And she proceeded to say, "Okay, do you want to hang out?" And I was like, "Bet, I ain't seen you in a hot minute, what's up? Let's hang out." We went, we hung out. I have pictures from it, but I'm not gonna post them because, like, I don't feel like it. We hung out once, twice maybe, after that whole incident. And then I got a message from her, and it said, "I know what you did with Bob, and I know you fucked him. I don't hate you, I'm not mad at you, but I don't want anything to do with you." Hold on, rewind. I messaged Bob. I said, "You need to fucking call me." He called me, and we said, "Hey, what's up?" He said that he told her that we did the dirty so she would leave him alone about the whole situation. What? Clown. Motherfucking clown. I got a call from Melissa saying, hey, what's up? I'm standing right here next to Bob, and I was like, oh, fucking man. And she told me that this was before the whole, like, I know what you did with Bob and I don't want anything to do with you, blah blah blah, that message. Like a day or two before that, she said that, I know what you did, why don't you just fess to it, because Bob's over here telling me blah 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 blah, and Bob, I can hear Bob in the background going, no the fuck I didn't say shit like that, you made that up, you said that shit, blah 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 blah. And I told him and her both, I said, I ain't never touched Bob in my existence, I don't want Bob, I don't care about Bob. So there was a lot of drama with that. That went on for a little bit longer. We hung out a few more times after that. Ever since then, I haven't talked to her, I haven't messaged her. I could if I wanted to. I probably won't, because, like, I don't want to rejoin with that shit. But she choked me out a few times while I was living with her. Like, I mean, like, full on put me in a headlock and, like, choked the fuck out of me. Was very aggressive all the time and very violent and physically abusing to me. She hit me a lot, she mentally abused me, she physically abused me, and hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want more story times like this, I will gladly make them. I'm working on a bunch of other story times. I have a lot more coming your way, and I'm sorry I haven't posted in a hot minute. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me what story times you want to see next. That shit is crazy, so you better hit the thumbs up and subscribe, because there's more where that came from. And that's all I have for you guys today, so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!